Hello and welcome to the national debate. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, the carpet has been rolled out for the Bihar elections in less than 13 days from now. Bihar will witness its first phase of polls on the 6th of November. This election will be a fiery one, with Mahagathbandhan, NDA as well as the Jan Suraj party in the fray. It's also an election of unity and power. On one side, the double-engine power pack of Narendra Modi and Nitish Kumar, and on the other side, the so-called buddies Rahul Gandhi and Tejashwi Yadav. But it's not all that clear. While the Mahagathbandhan is in a fix where there's been delays in the CM pick to even friendly fights that are still around, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday has launched a blistering attack on the Congress and the RJD from Samastipur. He's called it a Lat Bandhan, a coalition of criminals. On the show today, we dive into the internal fissures, the factors that could make a huge amount of difference, including caste combinations that will influence both this election and factors that will impact national politics. But before that, let's listen in to the Prime Minister and what he had to say on the campaign trail.
हमने जंगल राज को सुशासन में बदला। अब सुशासन को समृद्धि में बदलने का समय है। 2005 का अक्टूबर महीना ही था जब आपके माता पिता ने बिहार को जंगल राज से मुक्त किया था, सुशासन को चुना था। अब 2025 का ये अक्टूबर और नवंबर आपके लिए नए अवसर भी और एक बड़ी जिम्मेवारी लेकर आया है।
All right, let's take it across to our guest now. Joining us is RP Singh, National Spokesperson of the BJP. We have AK Bajpai, Senior Vice President and Chief Spokesperson of the LJP. Himanshu Kumar is spokesperson of the JDU. Joining us, also with us here in the studio, is Amitabh Tiwari, founder of Vote 5. Kapil Madan, advocate and political analyst, is joining us. He leans towards the Congress party. We have Dr. Shyam Kumar, spokesperson of the RJD, and Akshat Shonak, who is a spokesperson of the Jan Suraj party. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us here in the studio. Let me start once and for all with Amitabh. Amitabh, the Prime Minister, it's a very different tone from what we saw the BJP saying yesterday. It was all about alliances, seat sharing, delays, friendly fights. The Prime Minister is taking it back to the Jungle Raj narrative. Is that how this campaign is going to be fought? In your view, has the Prime Minister set the tone for the rest of this campaign?
No, see, with the announcement or the formal announcement of Tejashwi Yadav as the CM face, I think the target or the campaign of the Prime Minister would rely largely on corruption, which is corruption regarding Lalu Yadav's family. Second is, of course, the alleged Jungle Raj during his tenure of 1990 to 2005. And you will have also being dynastic politics. Now, because he will also raise the issue of nepotism and how the control of a particular party is within a particular family, and also link it with the Congress control within the Gandhi family. So I think for him it is corruption, Jungle Raj, nepotism. Okay. These three factors he will use to target.
These are going to dominate the election. Your response to that, Dr. Shyam Kumar: corruption, nepotism, Jungle Raj, and Jungle Raj is also calling it a Lat Bandhan, which is a coalition of criminals, if I can put it that way.
See, one thing is very clear, that Prime Minister today visit and consecutive visit to Bihar, that means there is a deficit of local leadership of NDA in Bihar.
The Prime Minister campaigns in all states.
That's okay, but his consecutive visit to Bihar.
What was Rahul Gandhi doing in Bihar?
Yeah, and second point,
what was Rahul Gandhi doing in Bihar?
No, definitely. And second point.
No, sir, what was Rahul Gandhi doing in Bihar?
Bigger political height.
Where is Rahul Gandhi now?
Tejashwi Yadav has.
Coming to RP Singh. Let him make his point.
What bigger political height which Tejashwi Yadav has, that is proven. And what he has addressed today, the same, political, narratives, script since 90s by our opponents, that's okay, it's okay, but Bihar, even 2020, we were bigger in number, and same thing it is going to prevent 2025 election. We are going to form government. I respect Prime Minister. He comes and visits, that's okay. I welcome him. But point is that this thing will not work in Bihar.
Karpuri Thakur, he's visited, in fact, a place which is revered by Mr. Lalu. He's considered to be Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav's guru. And, the kind of honor and respect that they've given Karpuri Thakur, none of that is going to hurt you?
No, I tell you that election is there, so he will go everywhere. You understand? During the election, the Prime Minister visiting every house, every our icon, father of social justice, that is only political, kind of thing, nothing, concrete.
Okay, this is only political. RP Singh, nothing will actually matter on ground. Your response to what he's saying?
Well, what will matter is making people reminding them of Jungle Raj, the way the Lalu Yadav government used to run. And the man, who is Lalu Yadav? Man who has been convicted for 32.5 years. He is being sentenced for 32.5 years in four cases. So this is what Lalu Yadav is. And so is Tejashwi Yadav. He is also embroiled in two cases. One is the job for land for job scam, and other is the IRCTC scam. So what are you talking about? I mean, Mr. Vajpayee will make you remind you of the person whose car was taken by one of the MLAs and was later on found in the Chief Minister's house, and settlement was done by the Chief Minister, then Chief Minister. This is how Chief Minister used to be. How can you, give me a second, how can you forget Shabuddin? Shabuddin was a known gangster, many criminal cases, man who burned people by throwing acid on them and put them on the street and would run the roost there. And same Shabuddin was, slogans were chanted in his favor just recently. Shabuddin Jindabad.
Yeah. So, and his son is getting
point is, let the younger generation understand what do Jungle Raj mean in Bihar today.
Okay. The Jungle Raj narrative will be enough to win this election is what the BJP believes, Kapil Madan. And you're going with the Lalu Prasad Yadav and his family members who are not just accused in cases but also who presided over the Jungle Raj period is not going to help you, is going to work against you, and the Prime Minister has made it clear. This is going to be one of the campaign issues.
Madhav, let me first expose the hypocrisy of the highest order, and let me give you a very quick example. We all saw when Maharashtra elections happened, Devendra Fadnavis Ji, the then CM of Maharashtra, he took a jibe at Ajit Pawar and he made a remark, chakki piecing against Ajit Pawar. And what has happened thereafter, the same person, the same BJP has formed a government with him and he is made a deputy CM of Maharashtra. Can there be a bigger contradiction like this? You please tell me. Now he's also talked about a fact that, there has been conviction and Laluji has been convicted, etc. Let me tell you, the conviction, of course, yes, at the trial court stage there is a conviction, but the proceedings thereafter in the appellate stage is also a continuation of that particular case which is yet to culminate. And if he wants to take a high moral high ground, I would just want to remind him, Mr. Chotala, who was the ally of the BJP, he was also convicted in Delhi. He also spent time in jail. So on what basis Mr. Singh now takes this moral high ground? Because it was your ally also who was convicted.
Okay, moral high ground. Mr. Vajpayee, come in on that.
How can there be?
They will also point out the criminal cases that are faced by leaders of the NDA.
Criminal cases one, but how about the Jungle Raj? How can
I'll answer that also.
How can you chant?
I'll answer that also.
How can you chant Shabuddin Jindabad? What do they to target a particular vote bank? Because they were targeting Muslim vote as a vote bank, and that's why they have not withdrawn the nomination of their Afzal Khan from the seat where Mukesh Saini's brother is contesting. So they can go to any extent. And God bless. We can't forget that terror of Shabuddin. What used to happen in Patna and what used to happen in Bihar.
You want to respond to that? The terror of Shabuddin has not yet been forgotten.
Let me respond to Mr. Singh here. Mr. Singh says, Jungle Raj, etc. Let me give an example of what Jungle Raj actually means. Jungle Raj actually means when your Olympian wrestlers are on the road and it takes almost a month to register an FIR. Jungle Raj is that where you don't even arrest. You don't even oppose bail. So that's an example of Jungle Raj, which Mr. Singh would not want to...
Let me bring another panelist, please. Mr. Vajpayee.
Now listen, why Modi is talking about Jungle Raj? Because Jungle Raj, the Bihar people have seen it. They lived it. They are still under the terror of that Jungle Raj. And who is the claimant on the other side? Yesterday, the name is announced. CM Tejashwi Yadav would be the Chief Minister. It's a self-goal on their part. Congress itself has done a self-goal by declaring name of Tejashwi Yadav, meaning thereby the Congress is also supporting corruption. Corruption, we have declared in 2014 zero tolerance towards the corruption. corruption. And election by election, we are declaring it. It is not new for us.
Right.
But as far as the Jungle Raj is concerned, apart from that, we are also pointing out, Modi ji has spoken today, that there will be a startup in every district. So focus is not only Jungle Raj. Jungle Raj, because it was done, and who has done, they are claiming to be the chief minister of the Bihar state. That's why we are pointing out.
Okay.
And development is known to everybody. Whatever we have said, we did it. Like Jatigat Janagana, who did it? Nitish Kumar government has done. What the central government has done? 14 lakh crore have been paid since 2014 till date to the Bihar state. So what more they want? And we have pointed out the complete vision, how we are going to develop and how we are declaring that the landlocked area will be utilized for the services sector.
Okay. Okay, so these are controversial. Let's quickly go across to some of the other talking points that we have on the show today. And this is what has been discussed over the last few days in terms of what really is happening. Internal crisis as far as the Mahagathbandhan is concerned. Some of the sticking points that we're talking about. Satish Kumar, who was a Congress candidate from Warisaliganj, he has withdrawn his nomination. Let's get the next name on the screen. Aditya Kumar, another Congress candidate, this time from the Lalganj constituency. Bindu Gulab Yadav, a VIP Baburi candidate, in fact, has withdrawn the nomination as well. And we have seen Tawqir Alam, Congress's Pranpur candidate, who has also withdrawn the nomination. Now, these nominations have been withdrawn over the last few days. But what are the areas where there are friendly fights? This is also something that could influence the outcome of this election, and this is something that the BJP is talking about, that what kind of an alliance is this if there are so many friendly fights happening. RJD versus Congress happening in these 5 constituencies: Vaishali, Sultanganj, Kahalgaon, Narkatiyaganj and Sikandra. There's also, of course, fights happening between other allies. Let's quickly bring up the next set of graphics. CPI versus Congress happening in Rajapakar. There is also the Bachawra constituency, Bihar Sharif and the Kargahar constituency where this fight is happening. RJD versus VIP happening from the Chainpur constituency. This is another place where, of course, there is fight happening as far as the allies are concerned, and another set of fight happening between Congress versus IIP, and this is in the Beldar constituency. So the big question, of course, that many are making is that if there is going to be such inherent contradictions, what really is going to happen? Now, these are the alliance fault lines that we are also talking about. The first flashpoint is the last minute CM pick, of course, just announced before the withdrawal of nominations. Flashpoint 2, that we've seen are tensions amongst the JMM, VIP and others as well. Let's look at the next flashpoint that we're talking about: protests within the Bihar Congress that we are looking at. There's also, of course, the friendly fights that we spoke about in multiple seats. This is, of course, flashpoint 4. Flashpoint 5 is the lack of unity on ground zero that we are talking about. We've also seen, in fact, a senior Congress leader and former Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, who has been rushed to Patna. Why was he rushed? The first reason, of course, discontent against Congress Bihar in charge. The second reason is troubleshooting Bihar MGB seat sharing pact, and the third reason is the impasse between Congress and RJD that we've seen dominating the headlines for the last week or so. Reason number 4, tense ties between Allavaru and alliance partners. Remember, Allavaru is a man who's under a bit of a cloud, given the fact that Congress leaders have been miffed with the state leadership, and of course reasons including, of course, selling of tickets that have been alleged against Krishna Allavaru. Let me quickly take this across to our panelists. In fact, we have with us Himanshu Kumar of the JDU. Himanshu Kumar, how much will this impact? ये जो friendly fights हो रही हैं, कितना असर होगा इसका बिहार के चुनाव में?
फ्रेंडली फाइट है, बेसिकली दिस इज द फनी थिंग. अगर आप फ्रेंडली है तो कभी फाइट नहीं होगा, अगर आप फाइट में है तो कभी फ्रेंडली नहीं हो सकते हैं. तो बिहार की जनता को एक तरीके से ये लोग समझ रहे हैं कि मूर्ख बनाने की कोशिश की जा रही है. तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, बिहार की जनता बहुत बुद्धिमान है, वो देख रही है. तो ये एक जनरल कोई भी पब्लिक है वो समझ रहा है कि फ्रेंड्स, दोस्त और दुश्मन दोनों एक समय एक ही टाइम में नहीं हो सकते हैं. तो बहुत सारे ऐसे सीट हैं जहां पे महागठबंधन के लोग आपस में फाइट कर रहे हैं, जैसा कि आपने दिखाया. तो इससे पता लगता है कि इनको बिहार को लेकर जो इनकी प्राथमिकता है सिर्फ सीट, अब जो अभी तक सीटों का बंटवारा नहीं कर पाया जो महागठबंधन, वो बिहार में विकास कैसे कर पाएगा? बिहार को लेकर एकजुट नहीं है, सिर्फ अपने पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट और लालच में पड़े हुए हैं. सीटों की खरीद बिक्री चल रही है. बहुत सारे उनके जो नेता हैं, लीडर्स हैं महागठबंधन के, कांग्रेस के हैं, आरजेडी के हैं, वो खुल के पार्टी ऑफिस के सामने इसको लेकर प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं.
Let me bring in Dr. Shyam Kumar on this. Dr. Shyam Kumar, the fact is that this is going to hurt your alliance very badly. The fact that there's such open fighting happening. And also, you know, if this was to be resolved, it could have been resolved a week ago, 10 days ago. Not on the last date of withdrawal of nominations, where you have the embarrassing situation where your own party's leader, Mr. Tejashwi Yadav, the CM candidate, is going to be contesting against his own party candidate because there's another alliance partner who's been given the ticket there finally.
No, see, 8 out of 243, it is just a small number.
Small number.
You know, a small number, number 1 point. Second, which I would like to add, that all, you know, this friendly fight is a democratic fight in fact. And this is not going to hamper anyway the Mahagathbandhan led. And just a couple of days later, we are going to form government of Bihar. This is what I have to submit at this point of time. But if you look at this NDA, they are infighting. There are a few remarks, comment of each other. Their whole picture is there. That what they were thinking about, you know, themselves. It is not versus 1-0 versus 101. JDU and BJP. How BJP this time, you know, that dominating the JDU, and how their MPs are, you know, expressing their concern, the undermining the, like JDU was a bigger party in Bihar. That is a worrying point. It is, you know, injustice in fact.
I will come to that point.
Yeah,
in fact, that's one of our future talking points. But I want to just ask you, is it not a fact that Tejashwi will be campaigning against his own candidate in the Gaurabaram seat because the RJD asked Mr. Afzal Ali Khan to file his nomination, and later the ticket was given to Mr. Santosh Sani, who happens to be the brother of Mukesh Sani?
See, these are the very small issues, not much issue. I tell you, there is an unity in the Mahagathbandhan. There is all positive things, democratic process. So wait and watch. We are leading, you know, in Bihar this time.
Akshat, I want you to respond. These are small issues. Why are people so worried about it? It's only 9 seats out of 200 odd seats.
Why to worry?
You should not be concerned about it. Do you agree with him?
Absolutely not, because they have made a mockery of their own coalition, I believe. See, the irony is that it was the same Mahagathbandhan and specifically RJD who was targeting Jan Swaraj by calling them the B team. But unfortunately, and they have failed pathetically to come at least up at the front and compete as a team. And let alone competing as a team, they are now calling fighting on the 10 seats as a small matter. Because if you see, they might justify it by calling it that it is constitutional. Definitely it is constitutional. But is it not against the spirit of the coalition? Is it not hampering the spirit of the coalition? Because on 10 seats, I would like to specifically point out, on 10 seats, 5 seats the RJD is up against Congress. On 4 seats the left is up against Congress.
Yeah,
and
I
on
just
one
read
seat,
that out. Yeah.
and one. So this shows that technically the deputy CM candidate, which was announced yesterday, is up against fighting against the CM candidate. So the people in their own party, the members in their own party are in a state of disarray, and they are confused that whether a coalition which appears to be so fragmented at this point of time is capable enough to fight against the bigger problems of Bihar. How are they going to fight the problems of multidimensional poverty when they are themselves fighting for the seats within them, and they are still calling it 10 days before the election that it is a very small issue. We are going to fight amongst us themselves. I think the claims made in yesterday's press conference were all hoax, and I believe that the Janta has made their mind clear that Jan Swaraj appears to be a very credible alternative to such Thakbandhans in Bihar.
Okay, respond to that. I want
one thing.
Quick, very quickly.
Parties without ideology in Bihar is a B team. Parties, you know, in Bihar, political conscious state, they become a spoiler that will not help them.
Which is the
Why
party?
their leader are
Jan
not
Swaraj.
contesting election?
You're referring to Jan Swaraj.
I don't want to take name of any party.
Then
why
what are you
their
talking
top
about?
leaders are not
Party
contesting
which
election?
had MI base as their foundation base and has cheated the Muslims in Bihar are talking about ideology today. 18% of Muslims are there in Bihar, and you have given only 18 seats to them, whereas there is much more top leaders not contesting election. Why the top leaders not talking about? What is your ideology? I challenge your ideology. Social justice. What? You have made a mockery of social justice. What you challenge? I challenge such game. If you can show me a single why the leaders are not contesting election? Why the
We're coming to this issue. Of representation. Gentlemen, please calm down. We are coming to this issue. It is one of my talking points, but I want to just, since I've raised this issue of issues within the alliance, I'm going to stick to that. And Kapil, the question to you is this.
Today, I'll come to
very
small point.
Okay,
which was missed. Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, where is Jharkhand Mukti Morcha? They are in alliance in Jharkhand. There's a minister in Jharkhand. Now, and they have been just thrown out of the system. And what do you think? They don't have to endorse in Bihar. They are annoyed. They are going to hamper their interest at all costs. Mahagathbandhan is going to be taken to task by the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha now.
Okay, respond to that. Respond to that. You're not keeping a flock together. JMM is one case in point. The others also, I mean, you have issues of friendly fights, and there are very serious charges that your state in charge, Mr. Krishna Allavuru, is facing from within the Congress of ticket chori.
Madhav, let me just, Mr. Singh again talking about lack of unity in the opposition camp is again, a laughable argument, and let me give you a reason why. In the entire, political history of this country, I think Nitish Kumar is one neta who has flipped side most number of times. He has been with BJP, against BJP, then against BJP, then with BJP, and we don't know what's going to happen. Perhaps he might, after this election, he might again try to change the ship.
Nitish Kumar is going to shift after the election. Very serious charges.
Hold on. Allow me to complete. Now, allow me to complete. Now, Mr. Singh is again talking about, unity in a coalition system. We all see what has happened in Maharashtra. Hold on, sir, hold on. Himanshu ji मुझे अपनी टर्न पे बोले. हिमांशु जी अपनी टर्न
बिहार के लिए 20 सालों से किसी दाग नहीं लगा हुआ है.
अपनी टर्न पे बोले. मैं सिंह साहब को रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा हूं अभी. हमने महाराष्ट्र के अंदर भी देखा. महाराष्ट्र के अंदर शिवसेना के साथ थे. शिवसेना टूट गई. फिर एकनाथ शिंदे जी के साथ थे. सीएम उनको बना दिया. जब सीएम उनको बना दिया, उनके ऊपर कॉन्फिडेंस था, तो फिर जब दोबारा इलेक्शन हुए तो सीएम चेंज क्यों किया?
ओके,
ऐसा क्यों हुआ?
ओके.
और अब वहां पे भी fractured coalition hai.
Okay, this is another charge coming in from their side, that is a Maharashtra model that's going to be repeated because you've clearly increased your numbers and you're going to bear down upon your regional ally, which you've done in Maharashtra in the past. That's his question. Respond.
साल में लगातार उनके नंबर कम होने के बाद भी नीतीश बाबू हमारे मुख्यमंत्री रहे. He stayed as a CM. But issue is not all this. This is one part. Jungle Raj, the part of the coalition problem. Give me a second now, couple. Part of the coalition problem is one part. जो पर असली बात है, बिहार में 87 लाख किसानों को 6,000 रुपए महीना मिलता है. 1 करोड़ 60 लाख घरों का जल से मिशन जल नलके से पानी मिलता है. 3 करोड़ 52 लाख लोगों को सुविधा मिल रही है हेल्थ की, जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर की हेल्थ स्कीम है. कोई 1.5 करोड़ शौचालय बने. कोई 1 करोड़ 17 लाख बहनों को गैस के सिलेंडर मिले और 40 लाख लोगों को पक्का मकान मिला. This is the issues. These are the issues. And against what? Against corruption of job, and against false promises, fake promises which have been built up by Tejashwi Yadav. He is showing these which can never be fulfilled. When he is saying that he'll give some 2 crores 80 lakh jobs. Well, imagine, where will he get 12 lakh and a half crore rupees for the budget? The budget is 3 lakh crore rupees. He is multiplying it by 4 times. Where he is going to get the money? Is he going to supply the money which he has earned through corruption?
And I want couple, you must answer what the AM leaders are also saying. They're talking about your leadership formula, saying that 2% deputy CM, 13% CM and 18% just to spread the dari. And there's a picture that has been shown of your two leaders that has been put out by Mr. Shaukat Ali. So there are serious questions, about representation, proportional representation, which he was talking about in the state of Bihar, which they allege is not happening as far as this alliance and the distribution of tickets are concerned.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a flimsy charge. I think sometimes you try to make your relevance by making these kind of a statement. In every election, every party does its own arithmetic, and the larger goal is to win the election, to win that particular seat. And I think these kind of statements are made, that has no basis, no factual data or anything to support. These are the statements just made to put someone in the dock. That's
is that something that's borne out as far as the arithmetic is concerned? Because the caste representation has drastically changed for both alliances from what little data I've seen. Amitabh.
So see, essentially, if you flip it around, it is the narrative, a battle of narratives. So one can argue that जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी उसकी उतनी हिस्सेदारी is the slogan of Mahagathbandhan, not the slogan of NDA. Correct? So the Mahagathbandhan should give tickets in proportion to the population. And Owaisi's party is harping on the fact of representation to Muslims. He was one of the factors which led to the loss of Mahagathbandhan in 2020. Correct? Because his narrative of representation worked in Simanchal, which has almost 46% Muslim population.
Correct.
So it cannot be taken lightly, because even in Lok Sabha elections, the AIMIM was leading in 2 assembly segments in the Simanchal region. So this representation is a big issue in Bihar. And this will have a play. Conversely also, like the Congress has increased the ticket for EBCs, even the RJD has increased the ticket for EBCs to woo the EBCs, correct? Because EBCs are considered a vote block of the JDU or the BJP. So while this factor would work for the Mahagathbandhan with respect to the EBCs, with respect to the minority population, there is a pent-up anger.
Yeah.
Sorry, you are forgetting the women factor. The biggest factor, X factor, the biggest segment is the women segment. वो साइकिल भी दी गई, वहां पर उनको 50% रिजर्वेशन पंचायत में भी दिया गया, 30% पुलिस के अंदर भी दिया गया, आज महिलाओं को नौकरियां भी दी गई और महिलाओं के लिए स्वरोजगार की योजना भी शुरू की, 1 करोड़ महिलाओं को 10,000 रुपया दिया गया ताकि वे अपना स्वरोजगार करें. बिगेस्ट सेगमेंट इज द वुमेन सेगमेंट देयर. Bigger than any other caste combination.
All right, that's what we are looking at. Let me ask you about this question. Yeah, okay. You want to come in on this question of representation because he's saying that OIC and his presence last time around actually helped the NDA, and that's again what is likely to repeat when these questions of representation come up.
Okay. जो हमारी पार्टी है जदयू, हमारी गठबंधन है, इन्होंने सभी जो भी बिहार में कम्युनिटीज हैं सारे को सामाजिक न्याय के आधार पे सभी को टिकट दिया. और जहां तक ओवैसी जी की बात है तो उनका आरजेडी के साथ फाइट है. वो जो वहां पे मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी,
तो फायदा तो आपके अलायंस को होगा ना उससे.
फायदा देखिए, फायदा यहाँ पे मुस्लिम समाज की बात है. जो हमारे एनडीए गठबंधन ने मुस्लिम समाज के लिए किया 20 सालों में जो हमने काम किया, तो ये लोग सिर्फ मुस्लिम समाज को वोट बैंक के रूप में देखते हैं, तो आपस में फाइट कर रहे हैं, उनके बीच है. हम लोग कभी वोट बैंक के रूप में नहीं देखे हैं. हम लोगों ने उनके डेवलपमेंट के लिए काम किया है. मदरसे के जो शिक्षक थे उनको हम लोगों ने सरकारी नौकरी, सरकारी जो पद है उसका दर्जा दिया है. और कब्रिस्तानों की घेराबंदी की है. वहां पे दंगे 20 साल में आप देखिए कोई भी बड़े दंगे फसाद नहीं हुए हैं उस तरह से. जबकि आप जंगल राज के समय देखिएगा 1990 से 2005 के दशक में, उसमें जातीय हिंसा और सांप्रदायिक हिंसा चरम पे थी. और उसमें देश में एलपीजी का युग आया था, तो सभी देश के दूसरे जो पार्ट है वहां पे इंडस्ट्री लगाई जा रही थी, लेकिन यहाँ पे किडनैपिंग की इंडस्ट्री थी, यहाँ पे हिंसा की इंडस्ट्री थी, तो यहाँ पे किसी कोई सुरक्षित नहीं था. तो इस तरह से आप देखिएगा तो हम लोगों ने 20 साल से बिहार की जनता के लिए सोशल सेक्टर में सभी कम्युनिटी के लिए काम किया है.
ओके, सभी कम्युनिटी के लिए काम किया. अक्षत, यू वांट टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट?
मुझे लगता है ये सबसे बड़ा यहाँ पर मजाक इन्होंने बनाया बात बोल के. आप चेक करके बता दीजिए कि अगर एनडीए ने एक भी सीट मुसलमानों को इस पर्टिकुलर इलेक्शन में दिया हो तो बात बनाने से नहीं होगा ना कि आपने मुसलमान समाज
ने 4 को दिया. इन्फॉर्मेशन पता नहीं,
रियलिटी क्या है ऑन फेस ऑफ इट. आज हमें पता है कि इनका ये
उन्होंने बोला एक को नहीं दिया.
एक्चुअली नो, दे हैव इनिशियली कमिटेड दैट एक भी मुसलमान को हम सीट नहीं देंगे. अब वो सीट निकल के आ रही है. हमने एक भी मुसलमान को सीट नहीं दिया.
He's factually wrong.
This point. Yeah, 4 seats have been given. 4 seats. But 4 seats have been given.
I have also given 1 seat. Before the list came out, this is what they were propagating everywhere. Now they are talking about the that we have you can't give incorrect statement. Don't give incorrect. I'm talking about the JDU thing.
Okay.
Now
मुस्लिम को वोट बैंक के रूप में देखने की जो उनकी नीति है, उनके डेवलपमेंट से इनको कुछ नहीं लेना देना, बस उनको वोट बैंक के रूप में देखना. चाहे एआईएम हो, राजद हो, कांग्रेस हो या फिर जन स्वराज हो, तो उनको कोई मतलब नहीं इससे.
Our entire government is working for the entire Bihar for the last 14 years and we will keep on doing it. As far as the caste combination is concerned, we are the Yoda of social revolutions. So we must know that we are working for them also. We are working for the last man. And our constitutional permitted. We are the welfare state. That's why we are taking concern of why we are giving employment to the women. Why we are talking about the empowerment of the women. That's why we have paid 10,000 rupees per month, and thereafter it will go up to 2 lakhs if you start your employment. So we are concerned with the poor people of the society since the beginning. You can't blame. You ruled the country 60 to 70 years. What have you done? Have you removed the Garibi? Not at all. What have you given to the Muslims? Nothing. Structure committee report is there. So don't speak like this. Your past conduct is there. You can't get away from that. That's why you are out of power for the last 20 years in Bihar, and it will keep on continuing. I'm telling you, because there is no unity. It is demonstrable. Rahul Gandhi was not there. Poster of a Tejashwi Yadav was there yesterday only. What about the alliance partner?
I'm just going to request our production team to get the next set of graphics related to cast out. All right, RPC,
sort of a point. जब बिजली के उपभोक्ता 17 लाख से बढ़कर 2.12 करोड़ हो गए, जब वहां पर प्रति व्यक्ति बिजली की खपत 70 यूनिट से 363 यूनिट हो गई, वहां बिजली की उपलब्धता 22% से 100% हो गई, तो उसमें मुसलमान भी हैं दोस्त। उसमें ये नहीं कि सिर्फ हिंदुओं के घर में बिजली जा रही है, किसी एक जाति के घर में बिजली, सबके यहाँ जा रही है बिजली। जब वहां पर पर कैपिटा इनकम 7,000 से बढ़कर 66,000 हो गई, तो सबकी बढ़ रही है ना उसमें।
Okay, let's quickly make out the next slide. Just a second. Let's just try to understand it for a national audience to understand why this is such an important discussion. Of course, caste politics is important in every state. What is the context of Bihar? This is Nitish Kumar's vote base. Kurmis at 2.9%, Koiris at 4.2%, and the non-Muslim EBCs at 26%. The core vote bank, nearly 33% of the population is what we are talking about over here. We're also talking about BJP's vote base. It's largely, of course, upper caste, which are 15%, but on BJP's radar are also EBCs at 36.1% of the population and non-Yadav OBCs, which are 12.86% of the population. This is where the entire battle for the different castes are concerned. The coalition as well as caste and the calculations there, when it comes to the HAM, represents the Musahar Dalits. When it comes to the LJP, represents Dalits, especially Paswans. That's, of course, a significant portion of the population. HAM says that this is about 3% of the state population. When it comes to the LJP, the Paswans amount to about 9% of Bihar's population. So this is where the caste calculations become very important. What about the RJD? The MY combination or the Muslim Yadav combination is also very significant. 17.7% of the state population. Yadavs at 14.3% of the state population. The current vote bank nearly 32% of this particular state population. And let me take this question across to the RJD spokesperson. We've seen the representation and the Mahagathbandhan, which claims that जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी उसकी उतनी हिस्सेदारी. Yet Yadavs are 14% of the population. They've got 36% of the RJD tickets, 51 out of 143, while EBCs and non-Yadav OBCs, 37% of the population, got just 27%. How do you justify this gap between social justice claims and what you've actually delivered in terms of ticket distribution?
See, we have ensured all kind of representation, so don't be confused with regard to the allocation of number of the tickets.
जितनी आबादी उतना हक से राहुल गांधी, जितना हिस्सेदारी उतना पार्टिसिपेशन होना चाहिए. आप लोग कह रहे हैं
see the fabric of distribution, then you will find everything. If you do the groundwork, then you will come to know. Nothing to worry. I don't give this kind of color. We are truly the parties with the social justice and give adequate representation to everywhere at every level.
Social justice means at every level. Social justice means Lalu Yadav, Rabri Yadav, and Tejashwi Yadav.
And how these people
outside
these people are anti-social justice or anti-Dalit. I would like to give one simple example. The moment Nitish Kumar became the Chief Minister of Bihar in the 2005, the moment he entered in the power corridor, he divided Dalit community, Dalit and Mahadalit. This is their social justice. Second point,
you never bother about Mahadalit. You never take a one by one.
Let me
you are never gone beyond family.
One by one. NDA is anti-Dalit, anti-social justice. Number one.
Why do you say that?
I prove that, if you allow me to speak. Number one, they have made Dalit community, which is united. They have divided by making Dalit or Mahadalit. Number one point, they are talking about the massacres of Dalit community. Rabri Devi government formed, at that point of time, Justice Samir Das Commission to investigate. The moment Nitish Kumar became a chief minister, that what he did? That where was this commission report, and people who were convicted in the lower court, they become free from the high court Patna. Why this Nitish Kumar government did not challenge in the Supreme Court? So
Okay.
there are no reason.
Why don't you respond to that? जवाब दीजिए.
What they are talking?
जवाब दीजिए.
जब नीतीश कुमार आए तो उन्होंने अति पिछड़ा आयोग बनाया 2006 में.
दलित के लिए क्या किया?
महादलित आयोग बनाया. जो लोग पीछे छूट गए थे विकास की प्रक्रिया में, बहुत सारी ऐसी जातियां थी जो पीछे छूट गई थी. जब लालू जी से 1993 में मंडल कमीशन आया था तो वहां पे अति पिछड़ों के लिए बोला गया था कि इसमें अति पिछड़ों को भी अलग से दिया जाए आरक्षण, लेकिन लालू जी ने वो नहीं किया लागू. जो कर्पूरी ठाकुर का सपना था उसके विरोध में गए. तो नीतीश जी ने जो भी काम किया अति पिछड़ों के लिए किया, महादलितों के लिए किया, जिनके तरफ विकास की योजना नहीं मिल पा रही थी। बिल्कुल ये इनका निराधार आरोप है। सोशल जस्टिस के जो बोलते हैं कि लालू जी बहुत बड़े प्रौधा हैं, तो उनको देखिएगा तो वो सिर्फ हवाई है। जो सोशल जस्टिस के लिए सबसे काम किए हैं, सबसे
my friend of JDU is talking about those EBC politics. I would like to tell you, Bhagalpur MP, Ajay Mandal has retained his, discomfort on the seat allocation within party over dominance of BJP. आप गोपाल मंडल EBC के हैं, आप क्या हालत आप लोग की है? आप लोग तो कभी से बोलते नहीं है।
Okay, let me bring in RP Singh. There's a question for you also. In terms of the representation, BJP has given 49 of its 101 tickets to upper caste who form only 11% of Bihar's population. Now, the question that just as I'm asking them, this does not align with Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas either, which the BJP talks about.
Well, let me tell you what we have done, what the Nitish government has done with the BJP as an alliance. Power grid, there were 45 power grids, there are 179 power grid today. So, roads were 8,000 kilometers, there are 1.18 lakh roads today. The crime was for 4.4, it has come to 2.1. The education was for 47%, now it is 80%. Give me a second, sir. Give me a second. Give me a second. शिशु मृत्यु दर 61 थी, आज 29 रह गई है. माता मृत्यु दर 312 थी, आज 100 रह गई है. पलायन 11 से 2%. But this is for everyone. This is not for only particular caste or combination. We are talking about the development for each and everyone. When road reaches a village, it reaches for everyone. It doesn't reach, ये EBC का घर है, ये OBC का घर है, ये मुसलमान का घर है, हिंदू का घर है. जब प्रधानमंत्री की स्वरोजगार योजना जाती है, जब 1 करोड़ महिलाओं को पैसा मिल रहा है, तो वो ये पूछ के नहीं जा रहा कि आप मुसलमान महिला हो या हिंदू महिला हो या आप किस धर्म से हो या किस जाति से हो, वो सबके लिए है. तो पूरे बिहार का समग्र विकास, the complete growth of the Bihar is the agenda of the NDA.
No, but that still doesn't answer my question. But let me bring in Amitabh on that.
I would like to respond. One point.
Okay, very quickly.
ये अभी बता रहे कि होगा, हुआ नहीं है 20 सालों में.
होगा नहीं है.
फ्यूचर टेंस.
सर सुनने में है.
Okay.
होगा. सर है.
Amitabh, 100%. All political parties. Just a second. RP Singh, just a second.
गाँव है जो directly connected with the roads. तो ये सब डेटा है, ये सब हो चुका है.
Okay. Amitabh, end of the day, all political parties appearing to be promising one thing. When it comes to ticket distribution, when it comes to delivery of governance, all these parties seem to be lacking because the track record, and even RJD has been shared in power as far as Bihar is concerned for several years in between, when they were allying with the JDU. But in terms of delivery, all these parties so far have not really delivered up to what their promises.
No, essentially all the parties are sticking to their core vote banks in terms of ticket distribution. You will be surprised to know that there are top 5 caste groups in Bihar account for more than half of the MLAs. Just 5. Rajput, Bhumihar, Kushwaha, Muslim, Yadav. Just 5. There are 105 seats in Bihar on which the same caste or community has been winning for the last 3 elections. There are 113 seats in Bihar in which the same caste has won 2 out of 3 last 3 elections. So caste is a very, very fundamental thing of Bihar, or a characteristic of Bihar, and most of the parties are addressing their vote banks because influential communities like these top 5, they believe have the resources and the influence to win an election, and winnability is the key criteria. See, in terms of promises, everybody is making promise. There has been significant development, there is no doubt about that. But when we compare Bihar or any other state, we just cannot compare Bihar with what Bihar was in 2005. We have to also compare it with other states, correct? A lot of things has happened. RP Singh mentioned about the per capita income, but Bihar's per capita income was 1/3 in 2005 of the national average. It still is 1/3 of the national.
So in proportional terms, nothing has really changed.
Yeah, significant development has been done, but significant development needs to be done.
Absolutely.
But it is still.
Let's quickly come. We have limited time, gentlemen. Please, there's limited time. Let's quickly go across to the next set of points that we're talking about. And this is, of course, what we're talking about in terms of, the announcement just yesterday. These were the images of Tejashwi Yadav's, announcement as the CM candidate, but there was no other photo except for Tejashwi Yadav that was seen on the dais. Of course, Ashok Gehlot was present. Rahul Gandhi was absent at that point of time. Again, charges against Krishna Allavuru that we were referring to, where Rahul Gandhi's close aide faces charges of ticket chori. has this really embarrassed the Congress party and to that extent Mr. Rahul Gandhi, because he's perceived to be as somebody who's very close to Rahul Gandhi, a revolt that he's facing in Bihar. We've seen press conferences also that have been organized where top leaders have spoken about this issue of the ticket chori storm and the allegations within the state. In fact, we've seen how the Congress sold tickets charge has in fact gathered momentum over the last few days. He was of course sitting in a corner during the briefing and also was rather unceremoniously removed from his charge as far as the Youth Congress is concerned. So many questions about the role of this one individual, Mr. Krishna Allavaru. He's of course been a strategist of the leader of opposition's Yatra and of course has managed Congress's youth wing in the past as well. At the moment he's been divested of that charge, and in 2021 he was observer in Punjab as well. He joined Congress in 2010. That's the profile as far as Krishna Allavaru is concerned, moved from the corporate world to politics. Now, what really does this mean for Rahul Gandhi? We're looking at it from the national perspective as well. There have been certain setbacks for the Congress party. There was no show, no posters of Rahul Gandhi at that very important announcement. Tejashwi now is the face of the alliance. Is that a foregone conclusion? And if that was indeed the conclusion, why did it take so long to announce? Now, Allavaru, of course, we've spoken about the kind of charges that he's facing. Let's quickly look at the next set of graphics on this. The ticket chor, Bihar chor slogans that were chanted outside the Congress office as well. And the fighting on lesser seats at this point of time, is that a setback for the Congress? Of course, we've seen whether the vote chori raga. Now, this is an issue on which Rahul had campaigned extensively in Bihar. Is this now fizzling out? Kapil Madan, respond to that, because clearly what I've just read out does not bode very well for the Congress party. They've had to surrender on a number of points, and this is very embarrassing when your own party leaders are sitting in dharna and saying slogans like ticket chor, Bihar chor.
So Madhav, it happens, when you are not able to secure what you really wanted, then you end up making these kind of allegations which does not have any kind of truth. This is not the first time which happened. It has happened with several parties, and you should take it always with a pinch of salt, because there would be defectors, there would be people who would be unhappy and who will try to settle scores just because they could not get what they were aiming for. So that's point number one. Point number two is, you said that Mr. Allavaru have been removed from Youth Congress. That's incorrect. If you really
yesterday.
Hold on, I am responding to that. He's not been removed. He was made Bihar in charge, and there was a leadership change that was expected in Youth Congress. Last year only the chief of Youth Congress was changed, and this was also expected to happen.
But why have you decided now? When the elections are 2 weeks away, now you're deciding. What kind of management is this?
Only because Mr. Allavaru is busy there, he has a larger role to play in AICC, and therefore you have a leadership change. I mean, and therefore that's why you have a leadership change.
हिमांशु,
ये सिटिंग एमएलए अफाक आलम है, उन्होंने ये एलिगेशन लगाया कांग्रेस के ऊपर जो टिकट बेचने का आरोप है, उनका ऑडियो भी वायरल हुआ है। तो कृष्णा अल्लावडू और जो वहां के प्रदेश अध्यक्ष हैं राजेश राम, उनपे डायरेक्ट उनपे ये सब लगा है एलिगेशन। और पप्पू जी जो हैं कांग्रेस के नेता हैं, जो वोटर अधिकार यात्रा में राहुल जी के साथ घूम रहे थे, तो उनको भी इसमें डाला गया है कि वो भी टिकट दिलवाने में उनकी भूमिका रही है। तो इस तरह की जो चीजें हैं, डायरेक्ट एलिगेशन पब्लिक में ये सब चीजें हैं, तो इसको ये कवर अप करना इस तरीके से
एड्रेस करें। ऐसे ये एक डिबेट का स्तर
पप्पू यादव की बात कर रहे हैं, किसकी बात कर रहे हैं हम? जो राहुल गांधी के साथ
कृष्णा अल्लावडू जी हैं, उन पे डायरेक्ट एलिगेशन है, जो वहां के सिटिंग एमएलए हैं अफाक आलम जी, उन्होंने लगाया है इसको लेके कि टिकट का खरीद बिक्री हो रहा है कांग्रेस में, और टिकट चोरी का आरोप लगा रहे हैं कांग्रेस ऑफिस के सामने। ये सच्चाई है, जनता देख रही है, बिहार की जनता।
Whether this has happened in other states or not, I just say, Kapil Madan, the optics of this are not very good for the Congress party, because it is a junior partner in the state. And the larger question is this: we've seen what's happened in Jammu and Kashmir, where Omar Abdullah has, literally dominated the Congress party there. Is that happening once again in Bihar? Will be the question that many are asking.
In UP,
of course,
give me a second. They were the begging ball to Akhilesh Yadav कि हमको 10 में से 5 सीट दे दो. Give us just 5 seats. We are okay with that. They said, okay, give us 2. Make our people contest under your symbol. He said nothing doing.
Allow me to respond.
He said nothing doing.
Respond. When you are in an alliance, you have a role to play. You have a responsibility towards your alliance partner also. Unlike BJP, who have taken these alliance partners and they have sort of betrayed them. We have seen them in the past. What they did with TDP. चंद्रबाबू नायडू किसकी सरकार के अंदर वो जेल गए, उनको बेल सुप्रीम कोर्ट से हुई, और आज चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी का सपोर्ट क्यों लेके सरकार चला रहे हैं? तो बीजेपी को मॉरल हाई ग्राउंड सूट नहीं करता, क्योंकि वो It's an example of, not practicing what they
BJP
preach.
can't take the moral high ground. Respond to it.
Come on, sir. Who's talking?
Let's talk about politics. मैं बता रहा हूँ.
नायडू साहब के अगेंस्ट, नायडू साहब आपकी रिजीम के अंदर जेल में गए थे कि नहीं गए थे?
कोर्ट फैसला करता है. यही तो प्रॉब्लम है.
इन्वेस्टिगेशन तो आप करते हैं.
For them, party and government is what the court.
तो आप सपोर्ट नहीं लेते उनका. आपने क्यों सपोर्ट लिया उनका? आपने 2024 में सरकार बनाने के लिए क्यों सपोर्ट लिया? आप बताइए. आपके पास जवाब नहीं है.
जम्मू कश्मीर के
जवाब नहीं है.
उमर उज्जवला ने
आपके पास जवाब नहीं है.
की तरह बाहर निकाल कर फेंक दिया.
आपने अजीत पवार जी का सपोर्ट क्यों लिया महाराष्ट्र के अंदर? बताइए.
खड़े रहे.
आपके पास जवाब नहीं है.
तेजस्वी यादव ने बाजू मोड़कर कहा कि मैं मुख्यमंत्री का कैंडिडेट हूं, तुम्हारा उप मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बनाऊंगा. इनका स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट वहां खड़ा रहा कि मुझे डिप्टी सीएम बनाया जाए. नहीं माने. तारिक अनवर के लिए अड़े रहे राहुल गांधी. नहीं माना. वो बोला नहीं, नथिंग डूइंग.
So there are issues. There are serious issues within your alliance.
सिंह साहब कहानियां बनाने में बहुत मास्टर हैं. सिंह साहब की कहानियां,
ने क्या किया?
मैंने सवाल पूछे, उनका जवाब नहीं दिया.
Are these all just stories?
See, let them make a story. They have all, picture to set the narrative. We have democratic and positive process for everything. We are the
RGD
people.
has not had its way when it comes to Congress.
I tell you, we have some, moral driven politics. Not like they are doing zigzag and puzzle and, eliminate regional political parties.
What is the zigzag and puzzle?
Yes, how they are going to eliminate JDU this time? I tell you.
Okay, are they going to eliminate JDU this time? What is the, alliance as far as the NDA is concerned? JDU contesting 101 seats. The BJP is contesting 101 seats as well. And this is, of course, the same number of seats we've seen in the past. In 2020, for instance, JDU contested 115, 143, whereas, of course, over here, the contesting of BJP was 110 and 174. So the huge difference in strike rates was witnessed in that election in 2010 as well. The JDU contested 141, 115. Over here, the BJP contested 102 and 191. So, of course, a huge difference in terms of the conversion that's seen as far as this particular set of performances is concerned as well. Is that a very real fear? And is the fear that he is expressing something that could actually happen on ground, Himanshu Kumar? क्या ये बीजेपी एक तरह से जेडीयू को डोमिनेट कर रही है equal number of seats लेके? क्योंकि अब तक जेडीयू has been the senior partner. Are you facing the fear of becoming the junior partner after elections? That's a question.
आप लास्ट असेंबली इलेक्शन को देखिएगा 2020 में, तो हमारे पास जो चिराग पासवान जी की पार्टी है लोजपा, तो वो हमारे गठबंधन में नहीं थी. इस बार है. तो हम लोग सीट शेयरिंग किए हैं बिल्कुल आपस में सहमति के आधार पे और संवाद के माध्यम से किए हैं. इसमें कोई किसी तरह का कोई बात ही नहीं है कि संवाद एक लोकतांत्रिक प्रोसेस है. जबकि आप विपक्ष में देखिएगा तो वहां पर संघर्ष है, सिर्फ स्ट्रगल है.
अभी तक करेगी तो विवाद है.
हम लोगों ने जो भी औपचारिक घोषणा की थी उसी के अकॉर्डिंग हुआ. इन्होंने अभी तक सीट शेयरिंग पे इनका अभी सहमति तक नहीं बना, जबकि सेकंड टर्म का जो नॉमिनेशन वो भी खत्म हो गया है. अभी 243 सीटों पे ये सब 253, 250 ये सब कैंडिडेट खड़े हैं इनके. तो हम लोगों ने जो भी औपचारिक घोषणा की थी, फॉर्मल जो घोषणा की थी, उसी के अनुरूप हम लोगों ने काम किया है. इसमें किसी तरह कंफ्यूजन ही नहीं है. ये लोग अभी तक कंफ्यूजन में है और अब देख सकते हैं ये सब पब्लिक.
Is there still confusion because the question that many are asking is the first time we are contesting equal number of seats?
पूछे कि ये चुनाव के बाद नीतीश कुमार जी ही सीएम बनेंगे, चेहरा या डिक्लेयर कर देंगे टीवी पे आज? बता दीजिए.
एनडीए के
विवाद संवाद तो हो गया है आपका.
बिल्कुल
वो भी बता दीजिए.
इसमें थोड़ा भी कंफ्यूजन नहीं हुआ. ये महागठबंधन में कंफ्यूजन था, इसलिए इनको ज्वाइंट कॉन्फ्रेंस करना पड़ा. लेकिन हम लोग में कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है.
हमारे
एनडीए के बड़ी नेता कई बार बोल चुके हैं.
हिमांशु जी कई बार बोल चुके हैं.
नेतृत्व में
एक सेकंड आरपी सिंह को बोलने दीजिए. वी हैव एटलीस्ट अनाउंस्ड अ सीएम फेस. द एनडीए हैज नॉट डन दैट. दैट्स अ क्रिटिसिज्म. व्हाट इज योर रिस्पांस?
We are contesting election under the leadership of Nitish Babu.
But that's not been formally announced.
Give me a second. He is the face of the election for BJP, NDA alliance, JDU put together, all five parties put together is the face. The chief minister will be elected after the elections by the MLAs. That's the democratic process. It's not that, arm twist and make me the CM candidate, otherwise go out. We are not contesting with you. It's not there.
Contradiction हो गया. प्रताप सिंह साहब ने ये 2 मिनट के अंदर संवाद से विवाद में उन्होंने बोला कि हाँ नहीं नीतीश जी ही रहेंगे, अब उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं होता एमएलए डिसाइड करेंगे।
तो सारे वरिष्ठ नेता मोदी जी ने, अमित शाह जी ने, सबने बोला है कि हम लोग नीतीश जी के नेतृत्व में चुनाव लड़ने जा रहे हैं। और पिछले इलेक्शन में आप देखिएगा जेडीयू को 43 सीट आई थी और नीतीश जी बनना भी नहीं चाहते थे मुख्यमंत्री, लेकिन जो माननीय
बनना नहीं चाहते थे,
उन्होंने मना कर दिया था। मोदी जी ने बोला कि नहीं आपके चेहरे
अमित शाह जी ने तो बोला था कि एनडीए के दरवाजे नीतीश बाबू के लिए बंद है।
We're out of time. Amitabh, are we looking at this election in Bihar as very different from previous ones? Because 20 years of Nitish Kumar, many say there could be anti-incumbency. Is that going to be a factor? Will Nitish Kumar continue? Because the opposition has been harping about his ill health. So, very quickly, in 30 seconds, wrap up why this is an important election for the nation.
It's an important election for the nation because it will set the tone for the semi-final elections of UP in 2027, which will be the semi-final to the Lok Sabha. Also, it will define the leadership for Bihar or the future leadership for Bihar, because we will be seeing at some point of time a post-Nitish era in Bihar. And in 2020, Nitish Kumar was announced as the CM face, correct? So I think at some point of time, since 15% people vote on the name of the CM face, we will see the Prime Minister clearly stating in one of the rallies that Nitish is the CM face, otherwise there will be some damage.
Okay, otherwise there will be some damage. Will that happen? Won't that happen? We don't know at the moment, but a very interesting Bihar election, as you can see. Of course, the fight has just begun politically speaking, and in fact the next 2 weeks are going to be extremely crucial from the point of view of the campaign. RP Singh, AK Bajpai, Himanshu Kumar, Amitabh Tiwari, Kapil Madan, Dr. Shyam Kumar, Akshat Shonak, thanks so much for joining us on this edition of the National Debate.
The News Hour at 10.